once again to IBN Spotlight. Our guest this week is Promita Bedi, a very controversial figure in Indian classical dance. She is an Odissi dancer and has led a very bohemian lifestyle, having tried out everything from streaking outside the Taj in Bombay as well as going straight into mysticism and Indian classical dance. Promita, what brings you to New York?
I'm on a 2-month tour of United States and Canada dancing.
Odissi?
Odissi dance, yes.
Mm-hmm. And how was your performance? How was it reviewed over here?
Well, I've never got standing ovations back home, and most of the cities, people just stood up after every item and gave standing ovations. And that felt pretty good.
That's wonderful. Most dancers in India, I know, is like at 6 they claim they have started dancing, and 7 o'clock and 12 hours of rehearsals. How is it that you took to dancing so late and you're doing very well?
Well, everybody asks me the same question. And there are people who claim they've come out dancing from the womb of their mothers and stuff like that. But I was 28 years old when I saw dance for the first time, and it did something to me. It was like a call which I couldn't refuse, and the next day I packed my bags, left my husband and 2 children and flew off to the Guru's village and lived there, and I really worked 18 hours a day for the first couple of months. And then
with Guru Kelucharan Mahapatra,
yes,
right?
with Guru Kelucharan Mahapatra, and then toned it down to accommodate the bringing up of the 2 children that I had to look after. The husband was gone by then, which was a blessing in disguise. So between the looking after the children and dancing, there was no other activity that took my time.
Do you find that with the dance style that you do, that religion is important, or that you have to be religious because you have a very bohemian lifestyle and have always had one?
Well, Swati, I didn't believe in God. I was a total atheist, and with my Western education that I had been trained in, there was no place for God or for any of the mysticism and spirituality of India. But when I started learning dance and living with the Guru, somehow very insidiously the feeling of devotion crept in, and he kept saying that it's very important, if you don't believe in God, if you don't have that quality of devotion, you cannot dance. And I would keep asking him what it had to do with dance, because one can emulate that in the face. And he said, you won't understand. And he kept making me go to the temple and do pujas and all these things, which I really thought was such a waste of time. But well, the situation
But one day it just changed.
It just changed, and I believe in all the possible gods there are. Not in the orthodox sense of the word, but I'm certainly, I would say, a very spiritual person now.
Is that why you've taken the name of Gauri?
There are a lot of stories behind why I took the name of Gauri. I decided to take some kind of sannyas from my city life, my profession, my children, the works. And Karnataka, where I'm building this village now, in Kannada, the word Bedi, they can't say Bedi, they say Bedi. It means something not very nice. And they used to hesitate because out of respect, they take your second name and add an Amma at the end. So I decided they were hesitating and didn't know what to say. So I decided to ask Guruji, my Guru, Kelu Babu, for a name. And he said, you have shown the roop of Kali, the goddess, too much. Now you should be calm and take the avatar of Gauri, Parvati, because you're now going to do good deeds. And that's it. I decided I needed a name for myself which didn't belong to my father or to my husband.
One got a lot of controversial reports, of suddenly, somebody like you becoming religious. And how is it that you didn't go into films? Because Kabir Bedi, who was your ex-husband, he was into films, and your daughter now is in films.
Yes, I'm surrounded by film people. But it is said that something you hate very much, you always kind of get a big dose of to live with. I grew up with a lot of the film industry around me. My mother's best friends were the great doyens at that time. Nargis, Kamini Kaushal, Smriti Biswas, Nirupur Roy. These are all my mother's cronies. And right from childhood, I used to listen in to all the stories they had to say, and it seemed like such a bad world. And I wasn't mesmerized by the film industry because I grew up in it.
Right.
Then also in college, all my friends and in school, they turned out to become film stars, and they were very involved with.
So you decided instead, I mean, because a lot of dancers go into dance and then go into films. It's almost like a stepping stone. And I see that you had the opportunity to go into films first. I don't think of it as a stepping stone at all. I think it's a stepping down. I'm very snobbish about being a classical dancer. And anything to do with films is not just one step down, but quite a few steps down. I mean, anybody can become a star. Anybody. My daughter, who has no training, is a great star today. But as a classical dancer, I know, because I've gone through years of practice and sweat, blood and tears, and after all the dedicated work as a dancer, I know that for a dance performance, I won't get as much money as I could if I just shook my hips and did a little scene on film. So do you find that dance has really satisfied that urge within you? That for several years, I mean, you may have been searching for something that has given you peace. Do you find that dance is what you really were looking for?
I didn't know what I was searching for. I certainly knew there was a search. I didn't know what it was. But it was pretty painful at times.
Because Indians are very critical, and Indians believe that unless you've started learning from the age of 6, you aren't a dancer. You have a very critical audience in India as well. Do you find that they take you very seriously now? Or?
They have started taking me seriously. It took a lot of effort and hard work to get to this stage.
And you've also done a beautiful job, I've heard, in Bangalore. You've started a village which you are constructing from scratch.
Yes.
Are you getting government grants or just your own effort?
Whoever gets government grants. No, it's Nritya Gram is India's first village of dance, and I think my whole life has been one of a very nice story of destiny taking charge of you. I mean, the way I saw the dance for the first time, and the way it grabbed hold of me and took me out of my social elitist crowd to go
the high-flying society of
to go
India.
into the grind of working and slaving for dance and sweating it out, then the whole circuit of dance. After that, you know, you reach the top, you've danced everywhere, and then what? You know, there are aging dancers who won't get off the stage. People don't want to really see them, and I think they don't even know that it's time for them to go. It becomes very difficult. But life, I believe, had
Do you live in the village, and are there any facilities there at this point?
Can I tell you a little bit about the village? Well, having danced a lot, I realized that dancers like me are the only ones who are keeping up the tradition, and we are all 5-star commercial dancers. We are not really doing any great service to the arts, because in no way have I got even 1/10 of the knowledge that my guru has and which I should have. And there are umpteen dancers like me who are commanding the stages of today. And I realized that this is the last generation of the great gurus, that we are going to lose the dance traditions because we are all become very commercialized. And some situation had to come about where the gurus would train other gurus to take the transmission of the arts and to create really professional, qualitative dancers who were committed to the arts. So I approached the government of Karnataka. They leased 10 acres of agricultural land outside Bangalore city. It was a barren piece of land with a lot of snakes and scorpions. I landed there with my car and 2 suitcases. I left Bombay 2.5 years ago. And I've been living in a tent on a camp.
Quite a change from the glitzy social and society, high society world of Calcutta and Bombay.
This is the second time I've done the sannyas. First time was when I saw the dancing, I did everything to dance, and this is the second time. The idea is to have the 7 classical dance style living in the same village for the first time in the history of India's dance. The greatest gurus of each dance form have agreed to come and live there and train a maximum of 6 students night and day for 6-7 years each, and bring these dancers out as the next generation's qualitative dancers and teachers. And in order to get this village through. I have been begging for the last 2.5 years from friends and foes. I must say that I have enough goodwill to have collected some money to start this. I've built one village for Odissi dance, and I'm hoping to add one village for each dance style every year, and until I finish it, I'm not moving out of my tent.
Well, we'd love to see a little bit of the village, and it is very interesting what we just saw, and I wish you all the luck with the village. I'm sure you're going to do a lot more. This is just the starting point of the hard work, the grime and the sweat, because it's not a very centrally and easily accessible to anyone as yet.
Not true. We have a very nice road now because the Prime Minister came and inaugurated my village last year. So we have roads, we have electricity, we have water, we even have 3 telephones now.
Well, that's a lot. Well, so you are going to get out of your tent and move into the beautiful shots that we just saw of the village.
I'm not. Until I finish the whole village, I'm going to live in my tent. I believe that the more uncomfortable I am, the harder I'll work to collect the money to finish my village. And if I don't complete it, I die in my tent. That's it.
Who are the other contemporary dancers who you feel are doing your kind of work and something different from just performing?
I don't know. I don't know any dancer who is interested in anything else besides their own performances. If there are, I don't know them.
So you think that you also notice that this new generation of dancers are the more educated dancers who have been performing on stages, and they're more the party round who have access to political parties as well as social groups. Do you think that has changed the trend of dancing today?
Well, I certainly think that it's done a great service to the dance in one way, that it has brought a lot of the moneyed people into the dance field and got them interested, even if it's superficially. We are dependent on these people to support the arts. But in terms of qualitative training, in terms of producing real art, in terms of nurturing the traditions, it's done a great amount of disservice, because the kind of dance which is projected on television, the media, and in all the 5-star glitz is ruining the tastes of the people. And so when a real dancer comes out, they do not have the appreciation for the real stuff. And this is the reason why the village like Nrityagram has to come about. I believe it's vital, it needs to be there, and I'm just being used to serve its cause.
Well, I'm glad that destiny has made you do all this.
I wish it would make it happen for you. I'd much rather that you did it and not me.
Well, I know it is very tough, and I'm sure that since you started late, you feel that you've lost out on a lot of time. But you've done a wonderful job from what I see. It looks like a lovely place to want to learn dance, and I wish you all the best with the construction, with the work, and with your career as a dancer and a teacher. Thank you very much.
I don't teach and I don't dance.
You don't want to teach at all?
I don't teach, I don't dance. I'm the laborer on the site. I build, I construct, I beg, I bring in money, I buy the food, I cook, I drive, I clean.
Would you ever want to be, are you called at this point, any point, Guru Promita Bedi as a lot of dancers?
No, I'm not, and I will never be called a guru because I am not a guru. But I'm certainly called Gauramma, which is Amma means the great mother. And that's how I see my role. I'm not interested in promoting myself either as a dancer or as a guru, because I don't think I'm qualified to do either one of those things.
Well, I think the gurus are very lucky in India today that they have somebody like you to promote them, as they don't have access, as you said, to a lot of the social world. And they have a wonderful art form which everyone would benefit from. And I wish you all the best and wish you luck. Thank you so much, Pratima.
Thank you.